I'm Isaac Bouchard. In this segment of the Car Buying Tips Guide, we're going to talk about how a dealer appraises your car. The dealer's goal is to get your car for the lowest price possible. Therefore, they're going to look it over, in particular try to find things they can use as ammunition to lower what they give you. For this segment, I'm going to put myself in the role of the appraiser. Let's see how they do it. First, I'm going to look the car over, generally speaking, for any obvious signs of damage. There's nothing obvious, so now I'm going to look at each panel in particular for indicators of previous damage or paintwork. Let's talk about Carfax and AutoCheck for a moment. These reports tell you about the previous history of the car. The Carfax will cost you about $30 a piece. AutoCheck will let you pull multiples for a single fee. The problem with them is they're not 100% accurate. In my experience, about 30% of the time they misreport accident damage, either saying a car has it or saying a car doesn't have it when it does. So it's important that you do the same type of appraisal as a dealer does. The first thing I'm looking for are obvious signs of paintwork, like overspray on the trim. And here's a little bit right here, right in there. Next, I'm going to open everything that'll open and look for signs of tape lines and masking marks. And here are some right here. This shows you where the painters laid the tape when they were painting the outside of the body. I'm going to feel every seam I can on every panel. And it's pretty obvious to me that this panel wasn't painted. It's very, very smooth, just as it should be. Whereas this panel on this car has been painted. It's got a rough edge on it. I'm also looking for any dust in the paint. And here I find some. Inside the trunk jam here are some more obvious signs of the paintwork. Some more dust and even some sanding marks. Now this is a dead giveaway. These are from when they were sanding underneath to level the primer out and to prep it for painting. And since they didn't do a good job, even after they painted and clear coated it, you can see the marks from the sander. I'm also looking for color changes from panel to panel. The trunk, which hasn't been painted, has a different tint to it than this fender that has. The other thing I note while I'm there is a fisheye. A fisheye is where a piece of grit or dust was that they wet sanded out of the paint. Sometimes you won't have to look that hard. There'll be obvious giveaways like this giant run under a door handle here. I've even found some paint chipping off the car, right where the fender meets the door here. Next, I'm going to put my head next to each panel and move it slowly back and forth. What I'm looking for is what the texture of the paint is like. This is called orange peel. All paint has a little bit of orange peel unless it's a show car. But factory orange peel is very consistent. If the car's been painted, it won't match the look of factory peel. What you'll have is waves in the paint that you'll only see when you're moving your head back and forth, or it'll be super smooth, meaning that they've wet sanded the heck out of it to try to get rid of the orange peel. One other giveaway of paintwork or bodywork are misaligned panel gaps. These type of gaps should be perfectly consistent, especially on newer cars. Finally, I'm going to look underneath the front and rear bumpers for any overspray on the exhaust system or maybe on the radiator. And while I was looking for paintwork, I was also counting the number of door dings and looking for any other scratches, big scratches that need to be touched in later. Next, I'm going to look at the car's wheels and tires. Tire-wise, what I'm looking for is how much wear there is and how even is the wear. So I have a depth meter gauge here, and I can look at how many 30 seconds of tread there are. New tires have somewhere between 8 and 12 30 seconds. When they get down to 2 to 3 30 seconds, the tires are dead. Beyond that, I'm also looking at the back edges to see if there's any feathering. That comes usually from alignment problems. When you're driving the car, you'll hear it as kind of a wah, wah, wah noise as you're going down the road. This is curb rash. It comes from scraping the wheel against a curb in the city typically. On a plastic hubcap like this, you might just replace it. On an alloy wheel, you can get them refurbished. It costs a dealer anywhere between $85 and $100 a rim. As the appraiser, all these items go into my mental calculations of things I can use to reduce the amount I'm going to pay for this car. And I go into this in a lot more detail in the Car Buying Tips Guide. I don't want to forget to check the spare tire. What I'm looking for. Is it actually there? Does it have air in it? Are all the tools you need to change a tire placed in the trunk where they should be? And finally, if it's got a full-size spare, does it have all the tread on it should, or has somebody taken it off and replaced one of the worn tires with it? Now we'll go under the hood. Mechanical maladies aren't as easy to spot as they used to be. Modern cars are so well built. We're going to look, though, for some seepage around the gaskets. We're going to look also at the battery terminals. We want to see, are they corroded, or did somebody spray some oil on there to keep them in good shape? Most of the mechanical issues we're going to address, we're going to find out about on the test drive, and we're going to ascertain, has the car been well maintained by checking its records of mechanical service. But a little look under the hood never hurts anything.